So there's a famous quote from Irfan Khan movie which said, "मोहब्बत थी इसलिए जाने दिया, जिद होती तो बाहों में रहती." So this is my relationship with RCB.
Hello all and welcome to our new YouTube video on the Third Men Musings. Well, it's that time of the year again. Those 2 crazy months of IPL where everybody gets hooked to their TV screens and starts, competing with their rival teams' followers. So that month is approaching soon. The IPL is almost upon us now, and we'll be starting off with the preview of all the teams. Today we'll be previewing the first team, which is my home team RCB, and used to be Sumit's former team. Now he's of course switched alliances to MI, so this time there will be a rivalry between us as well, and there will be some gamesmanship that you'll see in our videos. But before we move forward to discussing the squad for RCB and the playing 11 that we feel will take the field and the impact players for RCB this year, Sumit, my first question to you is why have you decided to jump ship to MI this year?
So there's a famous quote from Irfan Khan movie which said, "मोहब्बत थी इसलिए जाने दिया, जिद होती तो बाहों में रहती." So this is my relationship with RCB. बहुत साल मोहब्बत कर ली लेकिन अब लगता है टाइम हो गया जाने का. So I'm happy you are with them still, and I hope me leaving them works out for them in the cases of like how people get married after a breakup. Probably, I hope RCB get the first trophy. It's my last, I think, throw of the dice for them to win a trophy after so many seasons. So the only good thing with RCB, they are not a team of superstars anymore. You see the squad when you go over, we'll actually wonder how this team has been doing so well. Because one thing RCB has managed in the past few seasons is the consistency of getting into top four, and Virat has largely not been playing well in those seasons also. So that's kudos to Michael Hessen for that, to get that culture and build a team rather than the superstar team you were used to with the Gale, ABD, and Kohli, and that's it. There was nobody else in the lineup. So they have made some good changes, which has made this team a team rather than the individual superstar they were known for. But still, there's no trophy, and that's the major talking point, and it'll always remain till I think RCB is there. They need to get their one trophy, and they had the best chance, I think, in that 2016 season when Virat scored those 900 runs.
Narrowly lost the final to Sunrisers.
So that was, I think, the worst. I mean that was their season. I think nobody could have battled like Virat did. Nobody will ever, I guess. Butler, I think, was close last season or last to last season when he was on.
Last season.
Last season?
Got close to 800 runs, right?
Yeah, so he was on track to score 1,000. Then he dipped off, which shows how good Virat was to maintain that consistency throughout. So let's see this season how it happens with RCB.
Right. So on that note, we'll be previewing the squad first before we move along to the playing 11. Okay, so this is the squad for IPL 2023 for RCB. As you know, Sumit mentioned also, Mike Hessen has brought this culture of team camaraderie, right? Where it's one for all and all for one. So you'll not see any major superstars here, but very good players who can make a difference, right? The batsmen speak for themselves. Fab du Plessis has been a stellar IPL batsman. Has played very well for CSK over the years. Last year he came over and started captaining RCB, did a good job, took us to the playoffs. So he will look forward to a good season this year. Virat Kohli and Patidar will continue to be the shining lights from an Indian batting perspective. Virat opening and Rajat Patidar will hold the fort from a Indian batting front. Dinesh Karthik also will look to essay his role of the finisher from last year. Last year he was phenomenal, where he came in after the 14th over and used to propel the target to a very good score which the bowlers could defend, or vice versa. While chasing also, he used to take the match home for RCB. So RCB will look forward to him continuing the momentum. And then obviously Anuj Mahipal and Suyash Prabhu Desai, these guys will have to prove themselves. So this is the season for them to make a difference. Sumit, what are your thoughts on the all-rounders? I think all-rounders are
Yeah.
really, going to be
Yeah,
major for RCB this year.
they are the backbone of this team. And one thing I liked which they did is not depend on Maxwell, because Will Jacks is a like for like replacement, a tonker who bowls. His batting is not as great as Maxwell's, but again, Maxwell, you don't know which Maxwell turns out. He had a freak
Right.
accident, so he's also coming back from an injury. So don't know how well he'll be. His form is anyways a question mark most of the time. So if he's not performing, they have an option to get a Will Jackson who can do the similar job. Devon only largely doesn't play. He's always been a backup, a useful backup to have. Shahbaz Ahmed was one of the shining lights last season for me because he could bat at 6, 7, 8, and with Karthik, he used to provide the finishing touch. Useful bowler who will give you 2, 3 overs as well. So very good player to have in your T20 side. Vanendu Hasranga, this guy was Mike Hassan's favorite pick, and they spent so much money on him. And I think if you go over the YouTube videos where they discuss their strategy, he was earmarked to be the number 7 as the finisher who can bowl spin. It's a rare quality. But then he forgot how to bat, and the rest is history. So he used to come at 8 or 9 after Harshal.
Yeah,
And so
sometimes
just
he came at 9 after Herschel, right? So,
he used to slog like a madman and he could not hit. I mean, 1-6 and that's it. So the only good thing is last year he has batted better, but traditionally for Sri Lanka he bats better. I don't know why. Maybe there's no other people batting in that team, so he comes across it like, okay, I'll bat, I'll be more responsible. So I don't know what happens to him in RCB. So they will be hoping he'll bat better. His bowling last time was also pretty good. I mean, he used to get wrong, but his job was to get wickets, and he did that. So can't complain there. So he'll be a major player for them this time as well. Rest of the bowling, how do you see it as Sujay? Because again, I see
uh,
not many. Like I see
yeah,
good Indian bowling actually, but not good foreign bowling as such. Yeah.
right. Last year the bowling struggled, right? Because the batsmen still won us quite a few matches. It's the bowling that let us down. But what I'm happy this time is Mohammad Siraj has now hit a purple patch with the ball, right?
Yes,
He's
last
looking
season was
really
bad.
menacing now up front with the new ball. So I'm hoping this season Siraj turns it around for the RCB bowling. Hazelwood has, I don't know, he's had a few injuries. His bowling form has gone for a toss. So don't be surprised if Reece Topley makes it to the playing 11 more often, right, than
Hmm.
Hazelwood. So that will be an interesting selection conundrum. Harshal Patel, now interestingly, after many years, now we'll be moving back to the
Back to
Chinnaswamy, right? And Chinnaswamy, earlier, all IPL fans and international cricket fans will remember, used to be a batting paradise. 200, 220 used to be the norm. Now, after the pitch and the outfield have been relayed a couple of years back, now they have tended to be more drier pitches, right? With the water and dew getting absorbed. So Harshal Patel's off cutters and leg cutters might be more effective. So
potent
I'm
here.
hoping that Harshal Patel has a big season for RCB this year, like he did a couple of years back. The backup bowling isn't great. Akash Deep, Siddharth Kaul, Karan Sharma, don't expect much from them. So that is a problem, and I think that is something which we might have to address sooner rather than later. Greenhorns, I'm excited about Avinash Singh because I've heard he's similar to Umran Malik. He both at 150 clicks. So if he has a great season where he, terrifies the batsman with pace, then we have an exciting prospect on our hands. So good squad. Again, they have the potential to make it big this year. Let's see what the playing 11 could be. And Sumit, request your thoughts on how you see the
I
playing 11 pan.
I remember Akashdeep last year when we used to discuss him on a WhatsApp and we used to rant like anything, and we cannot share what we said on this public forum.
Yeah.
But his bowling was next level. Every ball was just coming in and everybody was hitting on the leg and there's no variation. It was hilarious.
He used to bowl in the slot, right? They call the
Everything in the
slot,
slot,
which is
yeah.
very
No,
conducive for hitting.
so God knows what they saw in him. And something similar to Anuj Rawat. So Anuj Rawat hit, I think, a 50 in the first game or second game, and they fell in love with him. But he looked very weird batsman. I mean, his batting was not good, and they kept trusting him to open with Faf, and Patidar came into the picture because somebody got injured. I forgot the name who got injured.
it was Loveneet Sisodia. Yeah,
God bless him.
Loveneet
I don't
Sisodia.
think he's in the IPL also now. I
Yeah.
don't think he's playing. So
Yeah.
Patidar came by accident, and I remember Patidar had a horrible season, and we used to wonder who is this guy who Kohli loves. But yeah, he saw some talent, and he saved us by the end of it because Kohli wasn't batting. Faf was
Correct.
hitting off and on. Anuj was gone. Maxwell was being Maxwell. So it was it was just DK carrying that team last year, actually. So if you see the playing 11, this was pretty much what was used last year. The only difference being you will see Topley instead of Hazelwood, and Harshal will be given games, but Harshal had a decent IPL, not as good as his best season. But if he gets hit around, as you said, Avinash is there, they might want to rope him in, and Siraj might be rested at times because again World Cup year, so they need to try some of the new bowlers to find some depth. Batting wise, you can see again depends a lot on Kohli. And here I would like to ask you a question. Kohli, Faf opening very similar dimension players, right? Who will take a bit of time and who will not utilize the top 6 overs. So isn't it better to get, because once Faf bats with Kohli, Faf tries to hit out and he gets out normally. It's not his game, right? Isn't it better to start with Patidar and keep Kohli at 3, which is his favorite position?
Yes, that's an interesting one actually, because Patidar, I think, has the ability to get going right away.
Yeah.
Especially, I've seen him whenever he bats, in the power play as well. He has those shots where he, ramps it up over the fielders in the inner circle, right? So that could be an interesting one. And Virat is always like batting at 3. Even for India, he's always like batting at
Yeah.
3. And you're right, Du Plessis and Virat are similar mold players, right? Both of them go up front, they might score 45 runs in the power play, and then power play gets wasted, right? So
Yes,
that
yes.
is an interesting one. Kohli has made a resurgence over the last few months, right? Who can forget his innings against Pakistan in the T20 World Cup? So I'm actually hoping that. He has a very good year this time round, and don't be surprised if Du Plessis and Kohli get spinners up front in the power play against them, right? Bowlers who can take
Yes.
pace of the bowling, because both of them
Mm.
rely on a lot of touch shots. So spinners against them might be an issue, but yeah, let's see how that goes. Maxwell will have to be consistent for sure, right? I mean, he's
That's
had
not
a problem
Maxwell's.
with left arm
That's not
spinners.
Maxwell's strength. Maxwell,
Uh,
Maxwell consistently don't go in a single line. So
Yeah,
he's the X
but,
factor
but
who
but
might
some
win you
of
two
his
games in a
shots were
season.
reckless, right? Reckless
Huh?
last season. So some
Yeah,
of his
yeah.
shots were reckless. So
I really think this is the guy you should aim to be in life. He performed in I think 2 seasons or 3 seasons out of entire IPL history, and he gets sold for 10 plus crores every time. So he's like that guy who knows how to get who sh- the employee who shows visibility but doesn't do the work. He's that guy, and there's something to be learned from him. I don't know how he gets a contract every time. So he had a freak year with Bangalore, and I think ABD was that year. ABD was batting
yeah,
below him.
so he always
Yeah.
had that cushion behind him.
Cushion. So
Also,
he was
yeah.
better. And he wasted ABD that year. I don't know what we were doing. Again, I think that was the year when the breakup started in my head that, okay, this guy is going and he's still batting like a genius and you're still not utilizing him. And he's just coming for 5-10 balls at the end. And that was just nonsense. Now he's gone. And now this guy is obviously not that good. They'll realize in due course. So let's hope he has a season. Everything is against him this time, so maybe it works out for him. He's coming with a broken
Right,
leg,
and
no
he
practice.
also has the pressure of Will Jacks being as a
Yes.
standby, right? Because earlier, what used to happen, Maxwell is a very a player who is very tough to replace in the squad. But now he has a like for like replacement.
Seems.
So if he doesn't perform in the first 5-6 games, don't be surprised if Will Jacks makes it for the latter half of the IPL.
He's
Um,
not tough
I
to replace. It's he seems tough to replace. Shivam Dubey had more runs than him last year. I'm sure about.
yeah. And then I think Shabaz and Dinesh will have to continue with the finishing touches, because
Yeah,
last time when the top order wasn't doing that well, they were the
they were the
ones who were,
ones.
maybe chasing 80 of the last 8 overs and still doing it. So they need to continue. Hasaranga, a greater role with the bat. I think he did very well. He was the second highest wicket taker after
Hmm.
Chahal, if I'm not wrong, right? So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
justified his bowling side of things, but his batting will have to step up. And then now let's go to who we feel are the impact players. Uh, okay, the first impact player for us
Hmm.
would be Rajat Patidar. Who can forget that brilliant 100 in the eliminator, right? He tore the bowling apart, and with such fluid strokes. It wasn't like he was slogging like a typical T20 player. Good strokes which were going for boundaries and sixes. So this season could be Rajat
It's
Patidar's. I
breakout
mean,
season.
his breakout season where he has a maybe a 600 or a 700 run season, and which maybe propels his spot in the Indian team as well, right? So
T20. Yeah,
I
yeah.
see this being a big season for Rajat Patidar. If he has a great season, nobody can stop RCB from making it to the playoffs at least, and from then there it's a matter of
Yeah.
fortune, right?
Um,
Sumit, your thoughts on Rajat Patidar before we move to the next impact player?
yeah. So, as you can see, the Indian batting is a bit weak. We have Kohli, and last year we were searching for Indian batters. So, Patidar came into the picture and became a hero. So, this season is very important for him because after the World Cup, changes will be happening. The old guard will be let go. So, there's a big time for him to make an impact and get seen so that he comes into the reckoning for the Indian white ball team as well. In T20s, I think they're going to carry him, but there it's a bit difficult for him as I see right now with Tripathi coming into picture. But this is his time to make a mark so that his future is secured after the World Cup. The other impact player is Dinesh Karthik. So bit old, but he's wonderful commentator. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised with his commentary recently. So very entertaining, like he is while he keeps. So specialist T20 finisher, and I just hope he can just bat a bit more. This thing of batting only 10 balls, and if there are 20 balls, I get confused. It's something which makes no sense. But this guy is brilliant, and you can see it in his stance. When he's tentative, he has a very weird stance, but when he's ready to hit, he just holds his bat up and he just hits everything in all directions. So you can see the difference. It's just a mindset. So his finishing is very important because you can see there are no finishers in this team. You have Lomoro, you have Ahmed, you have Karthik, you have Hasaranga. It's not really a very healthy finishing lineup, right? So Karthik has to perform. If he fails, then most of the matches will be lost because that's where most of the matches were won for RCB last year. So very important player, and I don't know how many seasons he has in him, but he needs to be told to bat longer. I mean, 10 to 20 balls is still something he should aim to do, and not only come after 15 overs if required. So that's my second
And what
player.
might help him is the smaller boundaries at the Chinnaswamy, right? So this
Mm,
time he not have huge boundaries last time like in Mumbai or previously in the UAE as well, right? So this time with the smaller boundaries at Chinnaswamy, he might have a chance to hit lot more fours and sixes. So absolutely,
mm,
Dinesh Karthik needs to have a great year again for RCB to have a good chance. And finally, our last impact player would be Vanindo Asaranga. Again, one of the costliest buys. At the auction. And last year, as we discussed, he justified his bowling, but this time it's the batting which needs to really come through, right? Because again, you never know this time if Shabaz or Dinesh have a slightly off season, then Hasaranga's batting capabilities will come into the
very
picture.
important.
And as we discussed, the ball might turn this time more in the Chinnaswamy with it being a drier wicket. So when batsmen try to target those shorter boundaries with his loop and his guile, if he can get those variations in and flummox the batsman, then easily he can get 2 or 3 wickets per game and be the match changer for RCB. So unless Hasaranga has a breakthrough season with the ball, I see maybe the other bowlers, if the pitches are good, they can get
Mm.
down, but Hasaranga will have to be the game changer with both the ball and the bat for RCB to compete. Any thoughts on Hasaranga, Sumit, before we
Yeah,
discuss the overall chances for RCB?
you summed it up well, Sujay, that he is going to have to finish because we can't keep expecting Karthik to perform miracles. So he will need to bat better. Bowling, I'm not worried because he will get hit for runs, but he'll get you wickets as well. The lack of support of a second spinner might come back to haunt RCB because that second spinner is Shahbaz, who's not that
Right.
great unless the pitch is like a stop-start pitch on which Akshay traditionally does well. So if
Mhm.
the batting beauty, uh, they will have issues. They don't have a second spinner, and last year I think there who was the fifth bowler? It was Shahbaz only,
Uh,
right? A bit
yeah,
of Lomoro, I
Shahbaz,
guess, and
yeah, a little
Maxwell.
bit of
Yeah, yeah,
Lomro.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Maxwell
yeah.
started the bowling in some cases against the foreigner
Correct,
openers.
correct.
So the bowling is good. Again, this is a team, so they are consistent, and that's why they are reaching top four. But that X factor players are missing. Maybe this year, yeah, with Kohli back into form, that's the X factor player they really want. Because the rest of the people are going to perform as they do. So yeah, What are your thoughts? You think
Yeah.
top four seems
Top
realistic,
four
right?
should be
Mm.
realistic, right? Because it's a well-rounded squad. The only gaps I see is a good number five, right? And I think we were
Mm.
discussing this. If it had been somebody like a KS Bharat, maybe he could have taken the gloves as well, and maybe Karthik could have just been a finisher because Karthik has
Mm.
made the odd fumbles with the gloves as well, right? So KS Bharat would have been good there, but who knows? Maybe Lomror, he's been backed by the RCB management, especially Mike Hessen, that he can take over the left arm spinners or the leg spinners with the ball coming into him. So who knows?
Mm.
This could be Lomro's season, and I hope Shabazz does well in the
The
Chinnaswamy and
bat.
other venues as well. And Maxwell
Mm.
has been a good off spinner for RCB. So I am very bullish that RCB can make the top four. It's about how they win those crunch matches because they're making it through the eliminator, but then they lose in the second qualifier, right?
Mm.
So
And
overcoming that mental hurdle also, where everybody trolls them on social media, right?
mm.
RCB is RCB nowadays, right? HAARCB.
See.
So they have to overcome the mental aspect of things, and they have to gel together, and everybody will have to work like a well-oiled machine to make it to the finals and the trophy.
This last point, they need to focus on the top two. I think they last year they were very good position to reach top two, and they somehow fumbled it and landed up at four, I guess.
Right,
And
four, and then
that
they
creates
played
the
with Lucknow in the
yeah. So then you
eliminator.
don't get the second chance, which this team definitely needs with the lack of superstars like they had, right? So it's always good to finish top two if you are in a position. See, if you are in those, if you're with those teams that are battling on run rates, then getting to a top four is your prize. But they were in the position to be top two, and they wasted that, and that came back
Right.
to haunt them. So if they're doing well, they really need to push the pedal and just hope, just fight till getting in the top two, and not only top four, to improve the chances. That's what I feel. Yeah.
Right. So, folks, that was a wrap from our end. Sumit and I had a great time discussing about RCB. Let us know your thoughts. Do you feel this year will be Isala Cup Namde, or will it be another year where RCB will be the bridesmaid at somebody else's wedding? So, on that note, do let us know your thoughts. Any other changes you see in this playing level? What are RCB's chances this time? And who will be the impact players? According to us, it will be these three folks, but anybody else who you think can have a breakout season this year, let us know. Do remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and your love and thoughts mean a lot to us. On that note, that's a wrap for the RCB video, and do remember to tune in to our other videos also, which we'll be doing for the previews for the other teams. We'll be back shortly with that. So on that note, it's a wrap from Sumit and I. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye.
Thank you.